Delhi? Delhi, /li/, Hindi pronunciation, Dillī, Punjabi pronunciation, Dillī, Urdu pronunciation, Delhi, officially the National Capital Territory, NCT, of Delhi, is a city and a union territory of India containing New Delhi, the capital of India. Straddling the Yamuna River, primarily its western or right bank, Delhi shares borders with the state of Uttar Pradesh in the east and with the state of Haryana in the remaining directions. The NCT covers an area of 1,484 square kilometers, 573 square miles. According to the 2011 census, Delhi city proper population was over 11 million, while the NCT's population was about 16.8 million. Delhi's urban agglomeration, which includes the satellite cities of Ghaziabad, Faridabad, Gurgaon and Noida in an area known as the National Capital Region, NCR, has an estimated population of over 28 million, making it the largest metropolitan area in India and the second largest in the world, after Tokyo. The topography of the medieval Fort Purana Kila on the banks of the river Yamuna matches the literary description of the citadel Indraprastha in the Sanskrit epic Mahabharata. However, excavations in the area have revealed no signs of an ancient built environment. From the early 13th century until the mid-19th century, Delhi was the capital of two major empires, the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire, which covered large parts of South Asia. All three UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the city, the Qutub Minar, Humayun's tomb, and the Red Fort belong to this period. Delhi was the early center of Sufism and Qawwali music. The names of Nizamuddin Auliya and Amir Khusro are prominently associated with it. The Karibali dialect of Delhi was part of a linguistic development that gave rise to the literature of the Urdu language and then of modern standard Hindi. Major Urdu poets from Delhi are Mir Taqi Mir, and Mirza Ghalib. Delhi was a major center of the Indian Rebellion of 1857. In 1911, New Delhi, a southern region within Delhi, became the capital of the British Indian Empire. During the partition of India in 1947, Delhi was transformed from a Mughal city to a Punjabi one, losing two-thirds of its Muslims residents, in part to the pressure brought to bear by arriving Hindu refugees from western Punjab. After independence in 1947, New Delhi continued as the capital of the Dominion of India, and after 1950 of the Republic of India. Delhi is home to the second highest number of billionaires and millionaires of any city in India. Delhi ranks 5th among the Indian states and union territories in Human Development Index. Delhi has the second highest GDP per capita in India, after Goa. Although a union territory, the political administration of the NCT of Delhi today more closely resembles that of a state of India, with its own legislature, high court and an executive council of ministers headed by a chief minister. New Delhi is jointly administered by the federal government of India and the local government of Delhi, and serves as the capital of the nation as well as the NCT of Delhi. Delhi is also the center of the National Capital Region, which is an interstate regional planning area created in 1985. Delhi hosted the inaugural 1951 Asian Games, 1982 Asian Games, 1983 NAM Summit, 2010 Men's Hockey World Cup, 2010 Commonwealth Games, 2012 BRICS Summit and was one of the major host cities of the 2011 Cricket World Cup. Toponym. The ancient name of the site of modern Delhi is Indraprastha, which literally means plain of Indra or city of Indra in Sanskrit. There are a number of myths and legends associated with the origin of the name Delhi. One of them is derived from Dêhlī or Dîlū, a king who built a city at this location in 50 BCE and named it after himself. Another legend holds that the name of the city is based on the Hindi/Prakrit word Dêhlī, loose, and that it was used by the Tamaras to refer to the city because the iron pillar of Delhi had a weak foundation and had to be moved. According to Punjab Notes and Queries, the name of the city at the time of King Prithviraj was Dilpat, and that Dilpat and Dili are probably derived from the Old Hindi word Dil meaning eminence. The former director of the Archaeological Survey of India, Alexander Cunningham, mentioned that Dili later became Dêhlī/Delhi. Some suggest the coins in circulation in the region under the Tamaras were called Dili Wal. According to the Bhavishya Purana, King Prithviraj of Indraprastha built a new fort in the modern-day Purana Kila area for the convenience of all four castes in his kingdom. He ordered the construction of a gateway to the fort and later named the fort Dêhlī. Some historians believe that Geortilika is the original name for the city, while others believe the name could be a corruption of the Hindustani words Dîlis or Dêhlī, both terms meaning threshold or gateway and symbolic of the city as a gateway to the Gangetic Plain. The people of Delhi are referred to as Delhiites or Diliwalas. The city is referenced in various idioms of the northern Indo-Aryan languages. Examples include Abi Dili Dur Hai, Aib Alif Maksurat Dila Dur, or its Persian version, Hanus Delhi Dur Ast, Hinus Dila Dur Ist, literally meaning Delhi is still far away, which is generically said about a task or journey still far from completion. Aes Pa Bars, Dili Pani Tarsa, dash. As Ice Press Dila Ina Tirs, literally meaning it pours all around, while Delhi lies parched. An allusion to the sometimes semi-arid climate of Delhi, it idiomatically refers to situations of deprivation when one is surrounded by plenty. The form Delhi, used in Latin script and strangely with an H following an L, originated under colonial rule and is a corrupt spelling based on the Urdu name of the city, Dal-La, Delhi. History? Main articles, History of Delhi and Old Delhi. Ancient and Early Medieval Periods. The walls of the 16th century Purana Kila, built on a mound whose topography is thought to match the literary description of the citadel Indraprastha in the Sanskrit epic Mahabharata, though excavations in the vicinity have yielded no evidence of construction. Traditionally 7 cities have been associated with the region of Delhi. The earliest, Indraprastha, is part of a literary description in the Sanskrit epic Mahabharata, composed circa 400 BC to 200 CE but describing an earlier time, which situates a city on a knoll on the banks of the river Yamuna. According to art historian Catherine B. Asher, the topographical description of the Mahabharata matches the area of Purana Kila, a 14th century CE fort of the Delhi Sultanate, but the analogy does not go much further. Whereas the Mahabharata speaks of a beautifully decorated city with surrounding fortification, the excavations have yielded uneven findings of painted grey pottery characteristic of the 11th century BCE, no signs of a built environment, much less fortifications, have been revealed. The earliest architectural relics date back to the Maurya period, circa 300 BCE, in 1966, an inscription of the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, 273 to 235 BCE, was discovered near Srinivaspuri. Remains of several major cities can be found in Delhi. The first of these were in the southern part of present-day Delhi. King Anand Pal of the Tomara dynasty built Lal Kot and several temples in 1052 CE. Vigar Haraj Chauhan conquered Lal Kot in the mid-12th century and renamed it Kila Rai Pithara. Late medieval period. A view of Qutb Minar. At 72.5 meters, 238 feet, the Qutb Minar, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Delhi, was completed during the reign of Sultan Iltutmish in the 13th century. Although its style has some similarities with the Jarkurgan minaret, it is more closely related to the Ghaznavid and Ghurid minarets of Central Asia. The king Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated in 1192 by Muhammad Ghori in the Second Battle of Tarain, an invader from Afghanistan, who made a concerted effort to conquer northern India. Qutbuddin Aibak was given the responsibility of governing the conquered territories of India until Ghori returned to his capital, Ghor. When Ghori died without an heir in 1206 CE, Qutbuddin assumed control of Ghori's Indian possessions, and laid the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate and the Mamluk dynasty. He began construction of the Qutb Minar and Quat al-Islam, Might of Islam, mosque, the earliest extant mosque in India. It was his successor, Iltutmish, 1211 to 1236, who consolidated the Turkic conquest of northern India. Razia Sultan, daughter of Iltutmish, succeeded him as the Sultan of Delhi. She was the first and only woman to rule over Delhi prior to the British Raj. For the next 300 years, Delhi was ruled by a succession of Turkic and an Afghan, Lodi dynasty. They built several forts and townships that are part of the 7 cities of Delhi. Delhi was a major center of Sufism during this period. The Mamluk Sultanate, Delhi, was overthrown in 1290 by Jalal-ud-Din Firuz Khalji, 1290 to 1320. Under the second Khalji ruler, Alauddin Khalji, the Delhi Sultanate extended its control south of the Narmada River in the Deccan. The Delhi Sultanate reached its greatest extent during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, 1325 to 1351. In an attempt to bring the whole of the Deccan under control, he moved his capital to Daulatabad, Maharashtra in central India. However, by moving away from Delhi he lost control of the north and was forced to return to Delhi to restore order. The southern provinces then broke away. In the years following the reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, 1351–1388, the Delhi Sultanate rapidly began to lose its hold over its northern provinces. Delhi was captured and sacked by Timur in 1398, who massacred 100,000 captive civilians. Delhi's decline continued under the Sayyid dynasty, 1414–1451, until the Sultanate was reduced to Delhi and its hinterland. Under the Afghan Lodi dynasty, 1451–1526, the Delhi Sultanate recovered control of the Punjab and the Gangetic Plain to once again achieve domination over northern India. However, the recovery was short-lived and the Sultanate was destroyed in 1526 by Babur, founder of the Mughal dynasty. Early Modern Period. Red Fort with the Indian flag at the center. Red Fort, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was the main residence of the Mughal emperors for nearly 200 years. In 1526, Babur, a descendant of Genghis Khan and Timur, from the Fergana Valley in modern-day Uzbekistan invaded India, defeated the last Lodi Sultan in the First Battle of Panipat and founded the Mughal Empire that ruled from Delhi and Agra. The Mughal dynasty ruled Delhi for more than 3 centuries, with a 16-year hiatus during the reigns of Sher Shah Suri and Hemu from 1540 to 1556. Shah Jahan built the 7th city of Delhi that bears his name, Shahjahanabad, which served as the capital of the Mughal Empire from 1638 and is today known as the Old City or Old Delhi. After the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the Mughal Empire's influence declined rapidly as the Hindu Maratha Empire from Deccan Plateau rose to prominence. In 1737, Maratha forces led by Baji Rao I sacked Delhi following their victory against the Mughals in the First Battle of Delhi. In 1739, the Mughal Empire lost the huge Battle of Karnal in less than 3 hours against the numerically outnumbered but militarily superior Persian army led by Nader Shah of Persia. After his invasion, he completely sacked and looted Delhi, carrying away immense wealth including the Peacock Throne, the Darya-i-Noor, and Koh-i-Noor. The Mughals, severely further weakened, could never overcome this crushing defeat and humiliation, which also left the way open for more invaders to come, including eventually the British. Nader eventually agreed to leave the city and India after forcing the Mughal Emperor Muhammad Shah I to beg him for mercy and granting him the keys of the city and the royal treasury. A treaty signed in 1752 made Marathas the protectors of the Mughal throne in Delhi. The city was sacked again in 1757 by the forces of Ahmad Shah Durrani, although it was not annexed by the Afghan Empire and being its vassal state under the Mughal Emperor. Then the Marathas battled and won control of Delhi from the Mughals. By the end of the century, Delhi had also come under control of the Bharatpur state and the Sikh Empire. Colonial Period. In 1803, during the Second Anglo-Maratha War, the forces of British East India Company defeated the Maratha forces in the Battle of Delhi. 6 stamps issued by the Government of British India to mark the inauguration of New Delhi in February 1931. During the Indian Rebellion of 1857, Delhi fell to the forces of East India Company after a bloody fight known as the Siege of Delhi. The city came under the direct control of the British government in 1858. It was made a district province of the Punjab. In 1911, it was announced that the capital of British-held territories in India was to be transferred from Calcutta to Delhi. The name New Delhi was given in 1927, and the new capital was inaugurated on February 13, 1931. New Delhi was officially declared as the capital of the Union of India after the country gained independence on August 15, 1947. It has expanded since. The small part of it that was constructed during the British period has come to be informally known as Lutyens Delhi. Partition and post-independence. Khan Market in New Delhi, now a high-end shopping district, was established in 1951 to help refugees of the partition of India, especially those from the Northwest Frontier Province, NWFB. It honors Khan Abdul Jabbar Khan, Chief Minister of NWFB during the partition. During the partition of India, around 5 lakh Hindu and Sikh refugees, mainly from West Punjab, fled to Delhi, while around 3 lakh Muslim residents of the city migrated to Pakistan. Ethnic Punjabis are believed to account for at least 40% of Delhi's total population and are predominantly Hindi-speaking Punjabi Hindus. Migration to Delhi from the rest of India continues, as of 2013, contributing more to the rise of Delhi's population than the birth rate, which is declining. The States Reorganization Act, 1956 created the Union Territory of Delhi from its predecessor, the Chief Commissioner's Province of Delhi. The Constitution, 69th Amendment, Act, 1991 declared the Union Territory of Delhi to be formally known as the National Capital Territory of Delhi. The Act gave Delhi its own legislative assembly along civil lines, though with limited powers. In 2001, the Parliament of India building in New Delhi was attacked by armed militants, killing 6 security personnel. India suspected Pakistan-based militant groups were behind the attack, which caused a major diplomatic crisis between the two countries. There were further terrorist attacks in Delhi in 2005 and 2008, resulting in a total of 92 deaths. The 2020 Delhi Riots, Delhi's worst communal violence in decades, which was noted for killings and property destruction in northeast Delhi, began on February 23, 2020 and was caused mainly by Hindu mobs attacking Muslims. Of the 53 people killed, 2/3 were Muslims. The dead also included a policeman, an intelligence officer and over a dozen Hindus. Ecology? Aerial view of Delhi in April 2016 with River Yamuna in top right. Delhi is located in northern India, at 28.61 degrees north 77.23 degrees east. The city is bordered on its northern, western, and southern sides by the state of Haryana and to the east by that of Uttar Pradesh, up. Two prominent features of the geography of Delhi are the Yamuna floodplains and the Delhi Ridge. The Yamuna River was the historical boundary between Punjab and up, and its floodplains provide fertile alluvial soil suitable for agriculture but are prone to recurrent floods. The Yamuna, a sacred river in Hinduism, is the only major river flowing through Delhi. The Hindon River separates Ghaziabad from the eastern part of Delhi. The Delhi Ridge originates from the Aravalli Range in the south and encircles the west, northeast, and northwest parts of the city. It reaches a height of 318 meters, 1,043 feet, and is a dominant feature of the region. In addition to the wetlands formed by the Yamuna River, Delhi continues to retain over 500 ponds, wetlands less than 5 hectares, that in turn support considerable number of bird species. Delhi's ponds, despite experiencing ecological deterioration due to garbage dumping and concretization, supports the largest number of bird species known to be using ponds anywhere in the world. Existing policy in Delhi prevents the conversion of wetlands and, quite inadvertently, has led to the city's ponds becoming invaluable refugia for birds. The National Capital Territory of Delhi covers an area of 1,484 square kilometers, 573 square miles, of which 783 square kilometers, 302 square miles, is designated rural, and 700 square kilometers, 270 square miles, urban, therefore making it the largest city in terms of area in the country. It has a length of 51.9 kilometers, 32 miles, and a width of 48.48 kilometers, 30 miles. Delhi is included in India's seismic zone 4, indicating its vulnerability to major earthquakes. Climate? Delhi features a dry winter humid subtropical climate, Köppen-Qua, bordering a hot semi-arid climate, Köppen-BSH. The warm season lasts from 21 March to 15 June with an average daily high temperature above 39 degrees Celsius, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. The hottest day of the year is 22nd of May, with an average high of 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and low of 28 degrees Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. The cold season lasts from 26 November to 9 February with an average daily high temperature below 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The coldest day of the year is 4th January, with an average low of 2 degrees Celsius, 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and high of 14 degrees Celsius, 57 degrees Fahrenheit. In early March, the wind direction changes from northwesterly to southwesterly. From April to October the weather is hot. The monsoon arrives at the end of June, along with an increase in humidity. The brief, mild winter starts in late November, peaks in January and heavy fog often occurs. Temperatures in Delhi usually range from 2 to 47 degrees Celsius, 35.6 to 116.6 degrees Fahrenheit, with the lowest and highest temperatures ever recorded being -2.2 and 48.4 degrees Celsius, 28.0 and 119.1 degrees Fahrenheit, respectively. The annual mean temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Monthly mean temperatures range from 13 to 32 degrees Celsius, 55 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The highest temperature recorded in July was 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit, in 1931. The average annual rainfall is approximately 886 mm, 34.9 in, most of which falls during the monsoon in July and August. The average date of the advent of monsoon winds in Delhi is 29th of June. Air pollution. A dense toxic smog in New Delhi blocks out the sun. In November 2017, Delhi's chief minister described the city as a gas chamber. Urban sustainability analysis of the greater urban area of the city using the Circles of Sustainability method of the UN Global Compact Cities program. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, Delhi was the most polluted city in the world in 2014. In 2016, WHO downgraded Delhi to 11th worst in the Urban Air Quality Database. According to one estimate, air pollution causes the death of about 10,500 people in Delhi every year. Air quality index of Delhi is generally moderate, 101 to 200, level between January to September, and then it drastically deteriorates to very poor, 301 to 400, severe, 401 to 500, or hazardous, 500 plus, levels in 3 months between October to December, due to various factors including stubble burning, firecrackers burning during Diwali and cold weather. During 2013-14, peak levels of fine particulate matter, PM, in Delhi increased by about 44%, primarily due to high vehicular and industrial emissions, construction work and crop burning in adjoining states. It has the highest level of the airborne particulate matter, PM 2.5, considered most harmful to health, with 153 micrograms. Rising air pollution level has significantly increased lung-related ailments, especially asthma and lung cancer, among Delhi's children and women. The dense smog and haze in Delhi during winter results in major air and rail traffic disruptions every year. According to Indian meteorologists, the average maximum temperature in Delhi during winters has declined notably since 1998 due to rising air pollution. India's Ministry of Earth Sciences published a research paper in October 2018 attributing almost 41% of PM 2.5 air pollution in Delhi to vehicular emissions, 21.5% to dust/fire and 18% to industries. The director of Centre for Science and Environment, CSE, alleged that the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, SIAM, is lobbying against the report because it is inconvenient to the automobile industry. Environmentalists have also criticized the Delhi government for not doing enough to curb air pollution and to inform people about air quality issues. In 2014, an environmental panel appealed to India's Supreme Court to impose a 30% cess on diesel cars, but till date no action has been taken to penalize the automobile industry. Most of Delhi's residents are unaware of alarming levels of air pollution in the city and the health risks associated with it. However, as of 2015, awareness, particularly among the foreign diplomatic community and high-income Indians, was noticeably increasing. Since the mid-1990s, Delhi has undertaken some measures to curb air pollution. Delhi has the third highest quantity of trees among Indian cities, and the Delhi Transport Corporation operates the world's largest fleet of environmentally friendly compressed natural gas, CNG, buses. In 1996, the CSE started a public interest litigation in the Supreme Court of India that ordered